Welcome to another exciting edition of How to Own a Young Earth Creationist, henceforth known as a YEC. Today, lesson number 31, the science keeps changing, therefore it must be wrong, rhetorical flatulence. Follow along in your YEC Owner's Manual, pages 43 to 860. Rebuttal 1. Well, duh. Science is the search for truth and does not concern itself with public perception, political correctness, or even the feelings or egos of scientists. When the universe of available evidence changes, new evidence being discovered, for example, scientific theory must be and is always reevaluated. The most dramatic and well-known analogy comes in the form of judicial exoneration with more sophisticated scientific testing techniques. There have been at least 50 cases of men and women convicted of murder and other high crimes when DNA testing was not available, whose convictions have been overturned with the new technology becoming available. To follow the logic, for lack of a better term, of the YEC, since the court changed its mind, it must have been wrong about everything else, and therefore, everyone who is currently incarcerated for a criminal offense should be immediately released from custody. This is part of the reason that religiously insane, self-righteous imbeciles are not elected to hold high positions of power within our governments. Yo, my bad. The greatest skepticism, however, should always be reserved for inflexible positions whose proponents insist that they and their assertions are above question and examination. Religious dogma, more specifically Christian doctrine, is derived from texts that are 2,000 to 5,000 years old, whose authors are questionable at best. Moreover, very little evidence exists outside of these texts to suggest the events described in them actually ever happened. Other historical evidence suggests that the preferred method of communication of a moral or social concept of the time that the Bible was written was through the use of a short allegorical story called a parable. The Boy Who Cried Wolf, for example, teaches children that their natural propensity to exaggerate claims of distress in order to gain sympathetic attention of parents could in fact be dangerous. A parable, however, is generally used to teach things to children, which could explain why most YECs understand them better than direct explanation, which is the preferred method of learning of most adults. A 5,000-year-old story in which a man is created out of thin air, fully grown, with a full vocabulary and knowledge of grammar and syntax, and then declines to have sex with any animals, so his magic creator removes a rib and creates a female from it, who is later convinced by a talking snake to eat forbidden fruit from a magical tree that is inexplicably placed in the garden along with the arch nemesis of the creator who forbade the fruit in the first place, is quite clearly a parable, and not even a very good one. This story can be used to explain the existence of the human race and how it all got started to someone such as a child or a Jew living in 3000 BCE. However, as children get older, they learn that the Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the evil gnome that will gouge out their eyes if they make any noise when Daddy pays them little visits at night are not actually real. As the human race matures, it will become necessary to shed its proverbial Santas and gnomes and embrace a more grown-up version of the world. Clinging to such ridiculous beliefs is the equivalent of a child's security blanket. To be fair, Christian doctrine does change when its ideology does not pass muster in a civilized and enlightened society. Offending scriptures are simply reinterpreted or blatantly ignored. So the next time a slick yank thinks he or she has scored a touchdown for Jesus by suggesting that science can't be trusted because it keeps changing, simply demonstrate that the ability of science to change is its advantage over ancient stories whose authors also thought, among other things, that rabbits chewed their cud and that showing streaked sticks to goats would cause them to bear streaked offspring. Viewers who wish to witness ownage on an epically galactic scale should now follow the link below to the video response of Atheists Are Hypocrites. A YouTube user called From the Darkstream actually suggested that rational thinkers should stop using the Christian calendar. The freethinker Gaffel delivers 10.5 minutes of nonstop smackdown on this turd burglar. This is Jaguar Jones saying good day and happy owning.